Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my virtual classroom, MKA Classroom. Now let's start today's video tutorial. Primary functions. Very primary functions: accept deposit, providing loans, creation of credit, clearing of checks, financing of foreign trade, remittance of funds. These are the primary functions. And advancing and loans, in here we will see overdraft, cash credit, discounting trade bills, money at call, term loans, consumer credit, and miscellaneous advances. Actually, these are the primary functions. And after that we will see secondary functions: agency services and utility services. First we will see primary functions. So in primary functions we will see accept of deposit. The primary functions of a commercial bank: mobilize savings of the household sector. Banks generally accept three types of deposit, that is current deposit, saving deposit, and fixed deposit. Current deposit, these deposits are also known as demand deposit. This deposit can be withdrawn at any time. Generally, no interest is allowed on current deposit, and in case the consumer is required to leave a minimum balance undrawn with the bank, checks are used to withdraw the amount. These deposits are kept by businessmen and industrialists who receive and make large payment through the banks. The bank levies certain incidental charges on the customers for the services rendered by it. So at first function we will see the accept of deposit. Basically, bank accept three types of deposit: current deposit, saving deposit, and fixed deposit. You have to know these types of deposit, and whenever you will face the final viva, then sometimes you have to face these questions. So what type of deposit the bank collect? You have to say current deposit, savings deposit, and fixed deposit. What is current deposit? Then you have to say that is the demand deposit, also known as demand deposits. Why it is demand deposit? That means whenever the customer need, they are allowed to withdraw their fund from their account, and they have to maintain several balances which can be undrawn from the bank. And basically, bank will not provide any kind of interest on this current deposit. After that, we will see savings deposits. This is meant mainly for the professional man and middle class people who help them deposit their small savings. It can be opened without any introduction. Money can be deposited at any time, but a maximum cannot uh, go beyond a certain limit. There is a restriction on the amount that can be withdrawn at a particular time during a week. So obviously it maintains several rules and regulations, and you cannot break the rules. If the customer wishes to withdraw more than the specified amount at one time, he has to give prior notice. Interest is allowed on the credit balance on this account. The rate of interest is greater than the rate of interest on the current deposit and less than the fixed deposit. So we know that in the current deposit there is no interest, so that's why in the savings deposit you will get a lump sum interest. So now in our country we are getting 4% or 4.5% interest on savings in our country. So this system which is obviously less than the fixed interest on fixed deposit, this system greatly encourages the habit of thrift or savings. Then fixed deposit. These deposits are also known as the time deposit. These deposits cannot be withdrawn before the expiry of the period for which they are not deposited, or without giving a prior notice for withdrawal. So fixed deposit, that means it is also called the time deposit. That means we have to deposit your fund for 1 year, 2 year, 6 months, 10 years or 20 years, and with the period of this time you cannot withdraw your fund from your account. If you try to withdraw your fund from this account, then you have to notice to the bank. So actually these are the acceptance of deposit. After that we will try to see advancing loans. So the second primary functions of a commercial bank is to make loans and advances to all types of persons, particularly to businessmen and entrepreneurs. Loans are made against personal security, gold and silver, stocks of gold and other assets. The most common way of lending is as follows. So whenever you try to take a loan from the bank, you have to pay security to the bank, because if you fail to provide the amount, then bank will sell your precious things and get their loan amount back. That's why they take security from your loan. So overdraft facilities. In this case, the depositor in a current account is allowed to draw over and above his account up to a previous agreed limit. Suppose a businessman has only 30,000 in his current account in a bank, but requires 60,000 to meet his expenses. He may approach his bank and borrow additional amount as like 30,000. The bank allow the customer to overdraw his account through the check. The bank, however, charges interest only on the amount overdrawn from the account. This type of loan is very popular with the Indian businessmen as well as Bangladeshi businessmen. So that is called the overdraft facilities. That is if you have several amounts, then you can withdraw more than that amount to meet your demand. That is the overdraft facilities.
Sir, overdraft facility.
Specified loan to a person for a firm against some collateral security. The bank can recall such loans at its option. So you know that collateral means the security of your fund. That is we call in our banking term or finance term, it is called the collateral security. Yes, collateral security. So that is called the cash credit. After that, discounting bills of exchange. This is another type of lending which is very popular with the modern banks. The holder of a bill can get it discounted by the bank when he is in need of money. After deducting its commission, the bank pays the present price of bills to the holder. Such bills from good investment for a bank. They provide a very liquid asset which can be quickly turned into cash. The commercial banks can rediscount the discounted bills with the central banks when they are in need of money. These bills are safe and secured bills. When the bill matures, the bank can secure its payment from party which had accepted the bills. So here we will see bill of exchange. I will show you someday bill of exchange. It is exist in real world. That is you purchase product in due, and you will provide a bill of exchange to your seller, and you call that after 3 months you will receive the full amount of payment. But whenever that seller need fund, the seller can discount that bill of exchange to its nearest bank. As like you purchase for 1 lakh taka, you provide the bill of exchange 1 lakh taka. The seller need emergency of fund. That's why the seller can discount that bill of exchange as like 90,000 taka to its bank. So bank will provide to the seller 90,000 taka in exchange of 1 lakh. But whenever after 3 months your bill of exchange is mature, bank will collect 1 lakh taka from you, and in here banks can get 10,000 taka profit by discounting this bill of exchange. Can I make you student?
Sir, I have a question.
Obviously.
Can we call the post-dated check as bill of exchange?
Because cash is a risky thing. So if you as like you are going to Chittagong for a purchase of car, a car is a price 40 lakhs taka, so it is very difficult for you to carry 40 lakh taka to the Chittagong to purchase a car. But if you carry a single piece of paper, bill of exchange, then you can purchase it easily, and everyone is accepted this bill of exchange as like check. Clear? Say total US dollars 30,804 and cents 70 only. So that is payable to the commercial bank limited. Commercial bank limited. So commercial bank limited এবং এই সেই তোমার আপনার ইনভয়েস নাম্বার, এই নাম্বারটা ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট, তাকে এই টাকাটা পে করবে একটা নির্দিষ্ট সময় পরে, ডেটেড জানুয়ারি 28, 2008। ক্লিয়ার? সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য এক্সাম্পলস অফ বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জ। এখন মনে করেন এই যে এই লোকটার টাকার প্রয়োজন, দেন ইউ ড্র ডিসকাউন্টেড টু ইটস ব্যাঙ্ক, এটা নিজের ব্যাংকে এটা ডিসকাউন্ট করতে পারবে 30,000 টাকায়, সে তখন 29,500 পেতে পারে। সো ব্যাংক তো অবশ্যই লাভ করবে, এটা তো ভেরি ইজি ম্যাটার। এটা আর একটা বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জের আর একটা এক্সাম্পলস, ইউ ক্যান সি ইট, বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জ। হ্যাঁ, এটা দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ইন্টারন্যাশনাল বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জ। বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জ, হ্যাঁ। So you have to know this. এখানে একটা এক্সাম্পলস দেওয়া হয়েছে, কে ড্র করছে, কার বরাবর ড্র করছে, কে পে করবে, এই সকল বিষয়গুলো এখানে সুন্দর করে এক্সাম্পলস হিসাবে দেওয়া হয়েছে। জাস্ট ইউ হ্যাভ টু নো ইট। Here is the supplier, here is the customer, and usually the drawer of his bank, drawer bank এটা পে করবে। ক্লিয়ার?
জি স্যার।
ওকে, ধন্যবাদ। সো আমরা ফাইন্যান্সের টিচার, তো আমাদের এগুলো একটু জানতে হয় আর কি, কালেকশানে রাখতে হয়। যে আমার কালেকশানে ছিল বলে আপনাদেরকে দেখাতে পেরেছি, কালেকশানে না থাকলে তো আমি আর দেখাতে পারতাম না। সো যে টিচার অফ ফাইন্যান্স, আর যদি ফাইন্যান্সে যদি আসেন তো আরও আমরা বন্ড দেখাবো, বন্ড আছে, রিয়েল ওয়ার্ল্ডের বন্ড, শেয়ারস আছে, এগুলো দেখতে পারবেন। ওকে, তাহলে আমরা আবার পড়ালেখাতে চলে আসি। Then money at call. Money at call. Bank also grant loans for a very short period, generally not exceeding 7 days to borrowers, usually declare or brokers in stock exchange market against the collateral securities like stock or equity shares, debenture, etc. offered by them. We will show you also debentures. Clear? So such advances are repayable immediately at short notice, hence they are described as money at call or call money. Term loans. Banks give term loans to the traders, industrialists, and now to agriculturists, also against some collateral securities. So term loans are also called because their maturity period varies between 1 to 10 years. Term loans such as provide intermediate or working capital funds to borrowers. Sometimes two or more banks may jointly provide large terms loans to the borrower against a common security. Such loans are called the participation loans and or a consortium finance. So you have to know this. participation loans or consortium finance. That means whenever two or more banks are generally provide the large amount of loan, so sometimes called the syndicate finance, consortium finance, or you can call it the syndicate finance. uh, uh, then consumer credit, banks also grant credit, funeral, etc. as well. So consumer credit, that means bank will provide you the loans against the consumer goods simply. Then miscellaneous advances, among the other forms of bank advances, there are packing credits given to the exporters for a short duration, export bills purchase discounted, import finance advances against import bills, finance to self-employed, credit to the public sector, credit to cooperative sector, and above all, credit to the weaker sections of the community at concessional rates. So that is the miscellaneous advances. Then we will see creation of credit. Creation of credit also mechanisms for enhancing the credit or amount of money in the cash flow circle. A unique function of a bank is to create credit. Banks supply money to the traders and manufacturers. They also create a manufacturer money. Bank deposits are regarded as money. They are as good as cash. The reason is that they can be used for purchase of goods and services, also payment of debt. Promote the use of checks, that is another functions. Commercial banks render an important service by providing their customers a check medium of exchange like checks. Cheap medium of exchange like check. It is found much more convenient to settle debts through checks rather than through the use of cash. So always time they try to enhance the promotions of use of checks, financing internal and foreign trade. And another functions, the bank finances internal and foreign trade through discounting of exchange bills. Sometimes the bank gives short-term loans to the traders on the security of commercial papers. This discounting business greatly facilitates the movement of internal and external trade. Remittance of funds. Commercial banks, on account of their network of branches throughout the country, also provide facility to remit fund from one place to another for their customers by issuing bank draft, mail transfer, telegraphic transfer, one nominal commission charges. So remittance of fund, whenever fund transfer from one place to another place, sometimes it can be country to country remittance of fund. If your bank has the branch of the abroad, then there comes from abroad side, fund comes from abroad side. So there are the several institutions which use for the remittance of fund. We will give you the homework. As compared to the postal money order or other instruments, bank draft have provided to a much cheaper mode of transferring money and has helped the business community considerably. Then secondary functions, we will see secondary functions, and we have to cover it today. Okay. Secondary functions. One is agency services and general utility services. Agency services, banks also perform certain agency functions for and on behalf of their customers. Agency services are immense value to the people at large. The various agency services rendered by the banks are as follows: collection and payment of credit instruments. That means if you take loans from the bank will provide your payment installment on behalf of you. Purchase and sale of securities in the capital market. Banks can purchase and sell securities on behalf of you. Collections of dividends, one shares, bank can collect collections of dividends and share. Acts as a correspondent, income tax, consultancy, executions of standing orders, act as trustee or executors and executors. These are the agency services provided by the banks. And general utility services of banks, we know it very well. Locker facilities, traveler checks and credit cards, letter of credit, collection of statistics, acting referees, underwriting securities, gift checks, accepting bills of exchange on behalf of customers, merchant banking. These are the utility services provided by the banks. Here bills, you can provide the electricity bills, water bills through your banks. So it can help you by providing the letter of credit, traveler checks, local facilities. Then it is acting as a referees. Whenever a letter of credit use, they act as acting referees. So actually these are the uh, functions of commercial banks. So
this all about today. Stay home, Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.